I am so excited to bring you this amazing program from the live stream to the live stage. And we have a great show for you today. So first, I would like to introduce you to all of the amazing developers that we have competing today. First up, representing the Cheddar Desk, we have San. Next up, at Turbo Purple, we have Emmanuel. On Power Green, give it up for Jake. Over here at the Appian Blue, how about giving it up for Liam? Next up at the Dark Blue Desk, Laurel. Everyone else, you're gonna have to keep up with that. And last but certainly not least, Novara. Yes, one more big round of applause for these brave souls coming up to build in front of you today. So, what will they be building in just 1 hour using Appian? Well, as we all see here today together, business travel, it's back. And it's back for our company, Sales Solutions. Now, with business travel being back, that does increase the carbon footprint. Sales Solutions has a new VP of Corporate Social Responsibility who wants to minimize this impact. So they're going to be working on building an app to manage those employee travel requests, as well as track the carbon footprint on them so that they can offset that footprint. How will we judge them? Well, last year, Megan showed us we may have made it a little too easy, or she may have just been way too good. Probably a little of both. So this year, they will be building all the way down to the buzzer because we have extra credit. So they have the same target app. They need to meet all of those requirements. If they finish early, there's a long list of stretch goals that they can hit. Those stretch goals are anything from things about UI, integrations, adding another action related to the record. So they can choose their own adventure there, and it'll be interesting to see all of the different strategies. And of course, we have some little extra credit for superlatives, like fastest deployment speed and the best UI UX. Now, I am going to head over to my battle station over there, where I can monitor each and every one of these contestants. But to take you through the action, I am very pleased to introduce you to two senior solutions consultants. To start off, let's bring out Jenny Dorina. And joining her, you remember him from last year, Val Rader. Oh, a little awkward. Anyway, Val, Jenny, please take it away.
I am so excited to be here at the Live Build Challenge for Appian World 2022. Now, I am a rookie here. This is my first time announcing, but we've got Val, our old hat, here. So what is it like to get from behind the keyboard and out in front of all of these lovely people?
It is so exciting. I've been looking forward to this for an entire year, all of this. And in that year as a community, we have worked together, we have persevered together, and because of that, we are here together. And I want everybody in the audience, and everybody who can hear my voice, and everybody in the global Appian community to know we are back, and we are better than ever. And I can't wait to see these amazing contestants put on a show. I wouldn't want to miss it.
What a pump-up speech. I'm really excited, and I wanted to make sure that all of you fine folks in the audience would get excited as well by getting to be part of the action of the challenge. So what I've done, as you do in Appian, I had an idea, and I thought, why don't I make a bingo card for you guys to start to look and listen to all the different features we have. And of course, I'd put that together in a couple hours with an Appian portal. So if you go to either your agenda on the Appian app, in this session's description, you will see the link there. We were having some technical difficulties, so you might not see the link if it might have been an older version of the app, so you can go to it at http://livebuild22.appianportals.com/bingo.
Amazing. That's so amazing.
Now, for all of you who are playing, the first person to get a bingo, jump up, shout it out. I will check to make sure you have all the words. And we will give you an undisclosed as yet prize. So you can walk away from this with a prize. They'll walk away from this with a prize. Do you think the prize will be as good as $10,000?
I know it'll be fantastic. I know it'll be amazing, but I don't know what it is, so probably not 10 grand.
All right, well, you've got to play to find out. Also, a couple administrative things. As a bingo card form factor, it works better if you turn your phone to this side. And also, the first person to say bingo will get a prize. Everyone after that, you can silently celebrate. We won't be too worried about that. All right, do you think you would be pretty good at buzzword bingo, Val?
Well, it's easy to build these kind of things in Appian, so I guess it's pretty easy to use it. Live bingo challenge next year, right?
Maybe not as exciting as the live build we have so far.
The link is locked, but I had to hard refresh the app.
All right.
Right. Hard refresh.
Hard
That's what
refresh
Mike
the
said.
app, and it works like magic.
Yeah. So, this is all great, but I brought you two here for a specific job. So can we please do the countdown and get started?
All right, we're gonna get started, and they're going to start building in
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go! Hands on keyboards, be great today!
Woo!
And I wanted to tell everybody the differences between the Live Build Challenge 2021 and 2022. It's your feedback. You wanted more features. You wanted more content. Sometimes you get what you ask for. This is going to take the whole 60 minutes. Don't leave your seats. You're not going to want to miss a minute of it. And in fact, there's even extra credit this time.
And as a teacher's pet, I love extra credit. It's my favorite part. Now, let's see what they have to get started.
Yeah, it looks like we're already going here, and it's amazing. And we're starting out with Novara, and she's great, going right to the record creation action. I mean, that's where I like to start often. Just go with the records, and then build out from that. And actually, Novara is from Florida, so if you like the hometown story, she can be your hometown hero. Let's pull for the home team, if that's what you want to do. How about we check out an interview? We pre-recorded interviews. Let's check out the interview with her.
Oh, Val, you're getting a little ahead of yourself. We're going to run down the competitors first.
That's
and
right.
get to the interviews.
That's right, that's right. And now with Laurel, we see the same thing, creating a new record type, just going through the steps there.
Now, I saw her starting with the security, and as far as the security is concerned, that's always going to be really important for our builders. It's something that you can never forget. Make sure you have your different roles, being able to just see what they need to, nothing more, and hopefully nothing less.
That's right, and you see, right, everybody's started, all on equal footing. Everybody's going through the same sort of process there, starting off with the records build, just creating the core records, getting that security down as we've seen here, Jenny.
Yeah, it looks like he's also starting on his record type. And if we jump to Jake, he's even adding some test users. Ooh, I wonder if he'll be able to log in as those, log out. Looks like he's starting to build out an employees group. It looks like he also has a lot of those objects that come automatically prepared with the application. So as soon as he created it, there's a bunch of folders, a bunch of security groups that helped him get a head start, really.
I even saw maintenance manager Mitch in there, so he's back and better than ever. Yeah, and let's look at Emmanuel. I mean, if this is a familiar story, that's what I like about Appian, this repeatability, this best practice ideas here, right? You see the colors change, but the theme is still the same. I'm creating those core records. I'm building those out super quickly. That makes it really efficient, Jenny.
And actually, he's building, or rather, we'll go to San, who is also doing something similar to Emmanuel, which is building out all of those related records. So he's got 3 records already, starting off with his 4th one. And for those records, it's going to be really interesting to see the relationships he puts between them. Now, Val, you're recently single, so what does your entity relationship diagram look like?
Oh, wow. Well, the one-to-ones I'll talk about. The ones-to-many are probably more interesting, but a gentleman never talks about that.
All right, on that note, it's probably a good time not to learn so much about us, and rather focus on the people who are important, which are the ones building. And we spent some time with them a couple weeks ago to interview them, ask about their journey of how they got to this stage. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at our contestants and learn more about them. So
And great, yeah, so we're back to this now. She's on to the new user filter creation. Starting off with Novara here, just using these very simple to use, intuitive filter controls. You've got all these different ways to configure the user filter. Again, the idea is that it's prompted. You kind of get the idea of what to do. Like, I like visual cues, and that's what I go forward with. So since I've already talked a little bit about Novara, remember the hometown hero, everybody remembers? So let's go ahead and cue the interview, please.
Hello. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me before we get down to Florida for the big show. To start off, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Novara Fernandez. I live in Downingtown, Pennsylvania, and I work as an application engineer at Vanguard.
So you're going to be up against someone else from your company. How do you feel about that?
She actually is like my work sister. We started on the same team. We work together like every day. So it will be very nice to be going up there in the same stage and competing against each other.
Novara, what inspired you to apply for this competition?
First of all, I have never experienced being in a live competition before, and I like trying something new. So I'm very excited to join this competition and try this out.
So how are you preparing to handle that pressure and potential stage fright?
I'm definitely like doing some visualizations and preparing my mind beforehand, seeing a group of people in my mind to calm my nerves so that I don't freak out too much or maybe faint on the stage.
Yeah, no fainting. If you were to win, what would you do with the money?
Probably invest in Vanguard index funds. But I'll leave some for charity, definitely.
Charity and investing in index funds. I mean, that's such a thoughtful and responsible answer. Do you have a message for the other people competing?
Best of luck to everyone, and let's all have just fun out there.
Wow, how can you not love that sunny disposition? But I'm telling you, the heat is on right now. Will 10,000 in cold hard cash cool it down a little bit? We'll have to see. Right now, I see somebody who's cool and in control here, using a little bit of the sale expressions, right? Because we need to do that sometimes too. And when you run into errors, you see that right away. It's a good start. I can debug those errors really quickly, use visual design, or some of the expressions as well, Jenny.
All right, well, let's see what her fellow contestant next to her is going up with, and check in with Laurel, because Laurel comes from the same company that Novara does. So if we're talking about upping the heat, she's definitely going to be adding the pressure. Now, Laurel and Novara, both from Vanguard, there must be something in the water there. Maybe they're drinking their Appian, but she's also putting together those relationships that we were talking about earlier. But if we could take a look at her video and see what she has to say for herself.
Hi Laurel, thanks so much for taking the time to meet with me a couple weeks before the challenge. To start off, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Laurel. I'm a developer and I live in Philadelphia.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
As a kid, my dad, he is an artist, and I grew up wanting to either be an artist, which didn't really pan out. It was something in art. I want to be an art teacher or a math teacher.
You made the switch from wanting to be a teacher, wanting to be into art, to becoming a software developer. So, how did that transition happen?
I wasn't always super good at drawing, so I was like, all right, I don't think I can pursue a career in design. I hit it like a brick wall. I was looking at what are some great jobs for women, and computer science kept coming up, that and engineering, and I decided, all right, don't know anything about this. I'm gonna choose this as my major.
You started on the same day as one of your fellow competitors.
Novara, she is another competitor in this technical challenge, and yeah, we started same day at same job, same team, and it was probably like the best thing that could happen for my career.
Are you going to be training up together or doing that separately?
We are back and forth just messaging each other like, do you understand this? Can you help me with this? So I think for the most part, we're gonna be training together. Words to the wise, everyone better watch out, because Novara comes across, she's super humble, but an insane developer, so the competition better be scared.
Do you have any competition experience that you're bringing into this?
Absolutely zero. So I am just gonna wing it and not take it too seriously. I mean, I know it is a serious competition, but at the end of the day, you can only do what you can do. So I'm just gonna do my best.
So Laurel, to close us out, do you have a message for your competitors?
Don't underestimate a girl in tech.
That's right, Laurel. Don't underestimate a girl in tech. Now, it was a little hard being a girl in tech specifically today, because that 6 a.m. start for the 5K was real rough. Big shout out for everyone who ran the 5K today. I see you haven't quite recovered based on that tepid response, but I'll forgive your lung capacity and we can try another day.
Yeah, and now we're on to Liam, and Liam is from Ignite Group, and our winner last year, Megan Markert, was also from Ignite Group. Can they keep it going? Keep the tradition going? We'll see, right? 10,000 is still up in the air early, and what we see here is already working on an integration, right? So there's different ways to be successful here. You can work on UI, improve your records, work on your security some. He's going after an integration early, and I like it. I like it. Let's hear a little bit more about Liam from his interview.
Hey Liam, thanks for taking the time to meet with me before we head down to Florida in a few weeks. To get us started, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hey April, really excited to be here. My name's Liam Caracciolo. I'm a senior technology consultant at Ignite Group. Been working with Appian for about 3 years and really excited to be a part of this live build challenge.
Outside of enjoying being an Appian developer, nerding out about features, what do you like to do for fun?
Really like skateboarding. Got a cruiser board, not just for show. I like to play a little bit. I'm also really into music production.
You're going up against 5 other great developers. Do you have a message for the competition?
I will say, you're gonna need to train pretty hard and get up pretty early if you think you got a chance of beating me.
If you were to win, what would you do with the prize money?
I love to travel, so if I were to win that $10,000, probably do a lot of traveling, bring my skateboard with me, see some great sights.
I doubt when you were a kid, you dreamt of being an Appian developer. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I've actually always wanted to have my own restaurant. Growing up in New Haven, Connecticut, obviously pizza capital of the world, I kind of wanted to own a restaurant, specifically a pizza place.
I love that answer, but I think you mistakenly said New Haven, but what you should have said was New Jersey, which is actually the pizza and diner capital.
I don't know about that, but to each their own.
Being on stage for this competition, it's not your first rodeo being on a game show of sorts. So can you tell us about your other experience there?
A few years ago, I did actually have the pleasure of competing on The Price is Right, running down the stage in front of, a couple thousand folks. getting to shake Drew Carey's hand. That was an awesome experience, and I think kind of the pressure of being up there on that stage will translate very well to our competition in Appian World.
All right, I'd like to react to that. I'm envious. I would love to be on a game show myself, maybe you can tell. But I must say this, the price is wrong when it comes to pizza. New Haven, Connecticut versus the whole country of Italy? No, no. Italy, authentic Italian pizza for the win. And $10,000 can get you there. Mamma mia, that's a lot of pizza.
Terrible. I love it. Yes, that is definitely a lot of pizza. Now, taking a look at our next contestant down the line,
let's move on
we
to Jake.
have Jake. We can check in what Jake is doing. Jake is building out his record list. He's getting into the designer. It looks like I love those big red errors, because at the end of the day, it's not when they come up now that's important, it's when they come up after that 1 hour mark. Now, Jake is our most experienced developer here, and we'll see if we can have a old dog learn some new tricks. So let's check in with Jake, see what he says.
Hi, Jake. It's great to get to talk to you again before we're down in Florida in a few weeks. To start us off, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, hey, great to talk to you, April. So my name's Jake Saltzman. I work for Mastodon Technologies, one of Appian's partners.
You actually have the most experience of any of the competitors. So how do you think that experience will help you in this challenge?
Well, definitely I'm going to use my experience so that I know exactly where to go quickly. But experience can sometimes be a trap, because you might fall into old habits or not be aware of the new things that are currently getting built into Appian.
What draws you to the Live Build Challenge?
You actually get to see the people who are working with that product every day get to make something cool. So hopefully it gives the participants at Appian World a window into what the developer experience is like.
Outside of being an avid Appian developer, what else do you like to do for fun?
I've actually played the piano since 2nd grade. So that's kind of my go-to. You know, I have 15 minutes between meetings. Maybe I'll just play something on the piano to kind of just clear my mind a little bit.
I think you also mentioned that you like watching basketball. Is that right?
Yeah, so March Madness just ended. So apologies to anyone who had a meeting maybe moved. That may have been because there were some really important games that I had to watch.
Since UVA didn't make it this year, who are you rooting for?
April, I'd love to tell you the answer to that question, but it's another ACC team, and I think there's some people who may not appreciate the answer to that.
You'll be up against 5 other Appian developers in this competition. Do you have a message for them?
I think it's going to be a tough competition, but whatever happens, I think it's going to be close. So I hope you guys bring your A game.
Regardless, we'll all get a nice chance to hang out and celebrate at the conference party afterwards.
Absolutely.
Now, Jake, being our old hat, hopefully he didn't party too hard last night, saved it for tonight, because he needs all of his faculties to beat these other contestants. But it's interesting, we had last year at the Live Build Challenge a Ignite Mastodon rivalry with Dan and Megan. Now we have the same thing with Liam and Jake. So Val, who do you think is going to come up on top?
It's too early to call yet. I'm not a judge either, but we know it's going to be close. Everybody's in it to win it.
Awesome. And it looks like, as far as Jake's concerned, building out his security for the record, looking at different row level security. And this is great because this is actually a pretty new feature, something we didn't have last year at the challenge. So you can start to make sure that each individual record can be only viewed by the right people who need to see it, the people who are logged in, who are perhaps in the different roles that he's created.
That's perfect. Why don't we move on to Emmanuel? And we talked about new things, right? Something old, something new. This is keeping the connection from last year. Emmanuel was in last year's competition. Now he's doing it live, and now he's starting to work on some of his UI, get some of the things formatted out here, right? He's taking a look at that convenient expression view as well, right? You can pick the way you want to do it. You can do drag and drop, you can look at the expressions, it's up to you. You have that option with Appian. Why don't we find out a little bit more about Emmanuel during his interview?
Well, well, well. Look who is back after competing last year. For those who may not have caught last year's show, do you mind introducing yourself?
Hello everyone, I'm Emmanuel. I'm currently with Sky Solutions as an Appian architect, and as you heard, I competed in last year's competition, looking to see what I can do this year.
Appian Architect and Sky Solutions, those are different from what you were doing last year. What else has changed since last year's challenge?
I have since then done a lot more programming and development, and like I said, new position, new role, and with that comes a lot more experience. So I'm really looking forward to this year's competition. I have relocated. I'm no longer in Tennessee. I'm now living in the Chicago area. And with that, I also finally got a professional headshot done. It was about time I finally looked professional out there versus, individual selfie.
Why did you want to apply again this year?
I definitely wanted a second shot. I felt like I had a really bad performance last year and was unprepared, and my own fault for not prepping correctly. And I believe I can do better.
How are you going to bring your experience from last year into this year's competition?
This year, I'm going to look to be more efficient and hopefully be able to get the app done much quicker than last time.
Do you have any experience kind of performing in front of a live audience?
No, last time I performed in front of a live audience, it was for a school project.
So Emmanuel, do you have a message for the rest of the competition?
Yes, I look forward to competing against you all in person for the first time. This will be fantastic. And of course, the best of luck to you all, but not really the best, just a little.
Well, last year, if you recall, we called him Young Gun, and this year, he has the ability to be the comeback kid. Now, the best way not to make a comeback is to get ahead, and that extra year of experience is probably helping out here. Like I said, he's still working on his UI, getting that just right. Remember, visual appearance is important. So some of our contestants will focus on this, others will focus on some of the other features that Appian enables at the enterprise scale.
And I think let's round it out with our last contestant and see what San is up to. We have San, the sustainability man, but he's going to need to do a little more than sustain his application in order to win against these fine folk. Now, he is working on another interface. Before, when we saw Emmanuel, it was the create screen, and now this is actually the record summary, and he's got a lot on there already. He's got a lot of the different fields. He has a grid of the log that's happening with those, and I think the way he was able to do that so fast was by using some of the different and new features of Appian. Now let's see what he has to say in his interview.
Hello! I'm so excited to be able to take the time to have this call with you before we get down to Florida. So to start, why don't you just introduce yourself?
It is super exciting to meet you, April. I'm San. I'm based out of Fairfax, Virginia. I've been working on Appian since the last 4 years, and I love it.
Outside of being a very enthusiastic Appian developer, what else do you like to do for fun?
I go on hikes with my wife and my dog, and I've recently got into baking Neapolitan pizzas, but I'm not there yet. Right now I'm doing all the hacky ways of baking it in my home.
San, obviously this is a very intense competition. What are you doing to prepare for this?
Since we have a time limit of 1 hour, I need to make sure that I have that speed, and I also need to make sure that I'm leveraging all the new features and the low-code capabilities of Appian.
That sounds like really great practice. So you're going to be up against 5 other intense competitors. Anything you'd like to say to your competition?
So the beauty about this competition is every application is going to be different. The creativity, the thought process, the coding, everything that goes into each of this application is different. And it's really interesting to see and compare everyone's applications. And I would love to see those and meet you all in person.
Wow, that's a really wonderful message to everyone. If you were to win, what would you do with the prize money?
I would put that cash and get an EV, electric vehicle.
Wow, what kind of EV do you have your eye on?
Lucid Air. You were all expecting a Tesla, weren't you?
Thanks so much for taking the time to meet with me. I'm really excited to meet all of you as well, and also very excited for, after the challenge, taking you guys out to celebrate.
Super excited for that.
All right, well, I think Sam's going to have to wait a little longer to find out whether he gets that electric vehicle. 37 minutes and 31 seconds to be precise. And looks like he has his request summary starting to look good, and he's even put it into a site already. And we have 37 minutes, and he is well on his way to completing out those different use cases for our travel request application. So we'll check in with each of the contestants later, but let's give a big round of applause to them and all of their good work so far.
Yeah, it's really hard to believe, Jenny. We're already 20 minutes in. I mean, as the minutes count down, the pressure builds, the pressure mounts. Can't wait to see the directions people go, but you can see these people are well on their way to building this application in under 1 hour.
So, why don't we go through again all the contestants? We got to know them, but let's see in 25 minutes how far they've been able to come. So let's start with Novara. Novara, her approach, and this is the interesting thing too that I've been seeing, everyone is taking a different approach to the order they're building their objects. So Novara started making sure she was building out the records, building out the process model, and she just got started on the integration. So it now looks like she's over and trying to fix up her create request user input task interface. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah. You know, one thing I already noticed right off the bat is that use the template for the request form, right? And I use templates in Appian all the time to get things done faster. So it's got this 2-column template. Just populate the data in there, get it going really fast. What do you think, Jenny?
Yeah, absolutely. She's using the expression mode right now, but I hope to see a little more of the designer in there. And there's a lot of good different components that we've gotten since last year that are probably going to become important. But it really looks like Novara started off with a bang.
But
let's take a look at.
Let's also say, right? We have new grid tools in Appian. Do we have a thing? We have some new grid tools in Appian as well, and you can see some of that going as she flashed between the grid and back to her request form here.
Yeah, and let's take a look at Laurel as well. Check in with her.
Yeah, so Laurel has also been going a similar approach to Novara. I mean, they've probably been training together. It's probably easy to see how they're taking the same strategy. But another thing that Laurel has been doing is, as she's doing those basic requirements, she's been throwing in some of that UX extra credit as she goes. But remember, if you don't get all the basic requirements, those extra credit points don't even count. So what do you guys think about her strategy?
Well, I saw Laurel flashing between some sites. I just see her in the tempo interface, and I have to say her tempo hopefully will pick up over time. But in all seriousness, let's pour one out for tempo. But you know, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about this too. I mean, look at the record actions that she's doing here. So you're building out your interface. It doesn't matter if it doesn't do anything, right? So you can build these record actions out quickly, and a record can be sourced from any number of data sources, and you want to get to actionability quickly. We see her building that right there, don't we, Jenny?
And spun up an interface, and what was that? A couple seconds?
Yeah.
Just from that create button.
Like that.
Awesome.
All right, now we want to go over to Liam, see what he's up to. So actually, from Liam's strategy, he was setting up all of the records that are required for multiple of the extra credit items. I don't know if he really thinks he's going to get to it, but he's setting himself up to be able to jump right into it. He also set up multiple integrations. So what do you think about what he's doing now?
So I like that, and I like that he set the foundation. It's aggressive strategy to go after the integrations first and then come back to the UI, but that's the thing about it. I always say that you can kind of pick your path. Like, I'm a process guy. I like to build out processes. I can work with people that are great at UI, and we can work together, divide and conquer. There's no division here, right? I want to conquer that $10,000, and Liam looks well on his way, doesn't he, Jenny?
Yeah, and if you're a process guy, I'm an interface gal, I suppose. I like to start with the screens that are going to look nice, make sure I have all my landing pages set up first. So kind of taking a more interface-first approach way, but the nice thing is, you know, caters to both of us. We can choose which way we do it. What is that? there's 10 ways to skin a cat or something horrible like that.
So I don't like the image of skinning cats, but I like to think some of us are a little country and some of us are a little rock and roll. We can cohabitate together. We all like amazing music. And look at this symphony here that's coming in front of us, all right?
Nice.
Yeah, next up, if we jump over to Jake, Jake actually has finished almost all of the requirements, those base requirements, so it looks like he's gonna have a lot of time to work on that extra credit.
Wow, I wonder what different features he started using to get kind of that speed through. If he's going through all the requirements really quickly, it might be interesting to see if he gets kind of the bare bones approach first and then starts to build out the nice functionality on top. You know, get a basic create request done, but then start to add on the nice pictures I saw in Laurel's, you know, start to get the basic and then go. So Val, would you deploy first or would you wait to get all of the extra credit done before building on after that? What would be your build strategy?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. I'm telling you, my nature is I'm a bit of a procrastinator, but I also want to get as much in. I would wait till like 59, 30, that sort of thing. I want to get as much, I don't want to leave anything on the table. Like in Las Vegas, or I don't want to rake the money in, I don't want to leave the cards out there. And that's a strategy I would take, Ted.
See, that makes me nervous just thinking about it. I would want to get, kind of like Jake, that first MVP, if you will, out the door, get it deployed as fast as possible, get that bonus for deploying first, and then I have a nice cushion that I can sit back on and then iterate on top of that. That would be my preferred way. But once again, you can do it either way.
Yeah, and you know what I'm thinking about here is I talked about being somebody who likes process, and we're in the part of the Appian platform where you visually build the process and connect all those components that we talked about using smart services. This is where I make my money, but not $10,000 in 1 hour.
All right.
Yeah. Let's definitely go and check out Emmanuel next, our guy from last year. It seems like he's definitely learned a few lessons from last year, but he's still, you know, trying to get through those beginning requirements, but unlike other contestants, has not tried to set up the site at all yet. I mean, the site configuration, it's pretty easy, but if you don't have a place to access all of this, does it matter at all?
So I like to talk about this. Again, you kind of can pick things, and last year we saw this too. Somebody set up their site super early, other people set up their processes. I do a little bit of all of it, right? Wherever my mind takes me, I want to be able to go. And right now, where's his mind going to? It's the process. Then build it and they will come.
Sounds like he's taking more of the Val approach, you know. He doesn't have a site ready to go, but he's really building the drama. And I think, let's take a look at, is San our last one?
Yeah, San. Let's go over to San. I mean, last but certainly not least. And he has been, you know, at first I was like, maybe he's going a little slower, but maybe he's just trying to save it for the end, a nice little sprint, and also make sure all those base objects are really set up correctly.
Talk about building that drama. And oh, my favorite, reading documentation. So the nice part about the interface designer is that all he's doing is grabbing the URL, sorry, the integration designer. He's just grabbing the URL, plugging it in, and then he can start to use the low-code builder to put in the parameters that start to build out this, this integration. And it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, this is an integration to calculate the distance between 2 points. He's probably going to then use it in a calculator to calculate the amount of the carbon footprint that a trip would take. And we're starting to see him put in some little pipe delimitation, very exciting. But Val, what do you think about the integrations?
Yeah, you know what I think about? Whenever I hear somebody say slow, I think about thorough. I don't want to sacrifice thorough. I want to be thorough faster, right? And I'll tell you, I worked with integrations for most of my career, and I'm tired of picking up API manuals and looking at green screens and all this stuff. This is what I like. I like the prompted experience. I can talk about an integration to anybody. I can open this up, and I can build an integration for them. Don't think I can do it? Look, they're doing it right now.
Ooh. How far is it between Berlin and Chicago? We'll have to find out once his application is done.
I wouldn't recommend walking that distance.
All right. Yeah. So we've gone through, I think, all of our contestants, but it's a good time to take a break and think about other things that are going on at Appian World. So April, can you let the fine people in front of us know what else is going on?
Of course. I mean, nothing is as exciting as this. Okay, maybe the conference party will probably do us up a little bit more, but this is just such a great show. But as we said, we have a jam-packed conference for you. right as you're all leaving, any customers and partners, stop by to leave us a review at that peer review station. If you're looking around at the audience, you may see some folks wearing their Appian Certified Developer polos or wearing their developer pins. Well, if you're not certified yet and go up to the certification area of the Community Hub, they're actually giving out free vouchers, so go get yourself certified. Other things that are going to be up in the Community Hub, I mean, we have Mario Kart going, some amazing tech talks, and a ton of stations that will help you do whatever you want to do. Also, you may even get the chance to meet Stefan, our top community contributor from last year, who actually wrote the book on Appian. Pretty amazing. So, just to remind everyone quickly about what app they're building, it's a travel request management and carbon reporting app. We've seen companies all over start to take more of a focus on environmental, social governance. Now, I'm not quite the expert here, but luckily we have someone who is about to come on and give you a little spiel about why is ESG important. So without further ado, I'm very happy to introduce you to Meryl Gibbs.
Hi everyone, so good to see you all in person today. So since these guys are working so hard and we are putting them to the test, I think it's only fair that we put the audience to the test a little bit too. We're gonna have a quick little quiz, okay? You guys ready? All right, so what would have the best impact on your personal carbon footprint? Ready, we've got option A, going vegan for a year, B, driving an electric car for a year, or C, taking one less long haul flight. Who thinks it's A, going vegan? Come on, you guys, don't be shy. B, driving an electric car. C, taking one less long haul flight. Ooh, okay. Well, it's a little bit of a trick question, guys. It would be too obvious if the answer was a long haul flight. It's actually driving an electric car for a year, but very closely followed by taking that long haul flight. So, getting back to the task at hand. Though y'all did a pretty good job, not gonna lie. Like, that was really good, guys. So, getting back to the task at hand, what is ESG? It's environmental social governance. It's a more holistic way at looking at the impact that a company is having on the world. You know, you've got your normal KPIs, your revenue, your profits, your margin. You're gonna find all that in a 10K. So ESG is just a way to more broadly look at other important metrics about how a company impacts the world. So that's gonna look like things like, what's your waste management? Are you polluting vulnerable populations? What's your carbon footprint? And are you just generally using ethical business practices? So why is this important? Why is this such a hot topic right now? We're seeing investors really take an interest here. And in fact, it's going to soon become potentially regulated metrics that are going to be required reporting in your public disclosures. Not only that, but consumers and your employees want to work for companies who align with their values. So we're just seeing a huge interest in this area, and especially around corporate travel, because this is something that applies to all companies in all different industries, right? We're all sending people to conferences, to events, meetings with customers, and it's a huge part of both your personal carbon footprint as well as your corporate carbon footprint, especially if you're in industries like software, consulting, where you're not really building stuff, you're just sending people across the country. So if companies are wanting to reduce their carbon impact, they're going to need to understand what their current baseline of carbon output from corporate travel is looking like, make a concrete plan to actually reduce that impact, and then actually monitor and track whether that's being achieved. So that's why this use case is so important and why the work they're doing is so interesting. And also just how impressive that they're building this in an hour or less. How amazing. And I know we all want to save the world here, right? We're all wanting to make a difference. So doing things like this are going to be huge. So if you're interested in learning more about ESG, net zero carbon, sustainability, we've got a lot of great stuff for you here at Appian World. We've got one session later today, 2 more tomorrow on sustainability and the supply chain, as well as a customer story from EDP Renewables. We've also got some great partner solutions in this space. If you want to go check them out in the showcase, go check out Cebia, PwC, KPMG. They've got great solutions here. And so without further ado, I'm going to let you guys get back to the competition. But thanks, April, for having me.
Thank you, Meryl.
Good luck to everyone. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for telling us a little bit more about why those things are important. Now, let's go back and see what the competitors are up to. To start off, I'd like to point your attention to Liam. Now, let's get Liam's screen up there for you. And like I said earlier, Liam, he was really going for setting up all those stretch goal records from the beginning, so he was ready to go. And he's making great progress, but he has not yet started on the reporting. So that is an interesting way to go, since reporting is one of the base requirements. He has to make sure he has time to get to it. What do you think of what he's working on right now?
Yeah. So I'm looking at this already, and I like the little icon, little image in the upper left-hand corner. I'm a visual learner, but you know, April, you're right. At some point, you've got to make that call. Creating reports in Appian's not that hard. I think you might want to knock that out real quickly, but maybe, you know, he's a man with a plan. He's going to knock out the hard stuff, get to the easier stuff later. This isn't all that hard, but he's clearly focused on it, isn't he, Jenny?
Yeah, and with 20 minutes to go, he definitely still has time to spare to get to those reports, but looks like he's got his update. I assume he's got his create. But yeah, I also like that picture. I'm just trying to figure out where his test data is coming from.
Yeah, no, Liam's definitely doing a great job. Next up, I'd like to go to the other L in this competition. Let's jump over to Laurel. Now, Laurel has been making sure to pick up all of those little stretch goal points along the way, which is another great strategy. I mean, there's a lot of much smaller, very easy to pick up stretch goals, but you can get them much faster. Whereas some of our other contestants, they're going for the much harder stretch goals that are worth a lot of points. So let's see how that plays out. But let's take a look at what Laurel's doing now.
Yeah, so it looks like she's using one of those extra components to enhance the interface, make it a little more interesting. And at this point, her Google Maps display field. So we're going to get a nice visual of the map of where those different flights are going, where they're coming from. And I really like this ability to balance both a nice looking application, you know, an interesting user experience, but also have that functionality out. As you said, April, picking up those points along the way and not letting functionality fall to the side in favor of maybe something that looks a little prettier. So you might say that Laurel has been a real constant in this competition.
Bingo! Wait, is that really a bingo?
Do we have a bingo? It's very, excuse me, please stand up.
Please stand up.
Very exciting. And what are the words that you have?
Oh wait, yes, let's check.
I can't see that. just use your words.
Okay, constant. Process. Free space. A-bang. And record. That sounds right.
Those all sound right.
Congratulations, winner. Here you go. What do you think of that prize compared to their potential prize?
You know, they're probably doing a little more work for that 10,000, but it's good to see that our audience members can still win.
It's a close second. It's so close. It's neck and neck. And speaking about keeping things neck and neck, going back to this, I'll tell you what. I like the strategy. It's aggressive. And it's aggressive to knock out all those things. It's a sign of confidence, right? And I already saw some of the images in the maps, and again, I'm a visual learner, right? That's how we want things to look beautiful. And to get to that, she's knocking out some of those extra steps early. That means points, money in the bank. Maybe literally here pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's jump over to Jake if we can, because he has been doing the opposite approach. He's really going for those much larger point value stretch goals, but will he be able to finish in the last less than 20 minutes that we have?
Yes. Well, I can see that Jake is starting to build out the other, it looks like an update action, and I like that he's using the generate new action builder. That's different than what they were able to do last year, I believe. So it really helps add to that speed element. This year you can get a lot more done than last year because of all of those accelerators that's been built into the platform. So the ability to automatically generate your interfaces for the records, the ability to create all of these different actions, all of the objects that would take longer to build out your constants, your data sources, that's all done automatically with these nice wizard-like approaches. And then you go in, you edit a bit if you want to change what you saw before. You know, Appian's easy to change. And boom, you have a functionality ready to go. Now, one question I do have, April, is has Jake actually started on any of those reports, if we think about that reporting requirement?
Let's go and check on that really quick.
All right. We'll come back to that.
I still don't see the reporting, so I mean, let's see how that goes. I'd like to point us to another contestant now. Let's jump over to San. So actually, I don't know if you saw this little rush over here, but a few minutes ago, San had a low battery warning. Oh no, he should have plugged in that laptop before we started. So that's gonna make it maybe take away a few minutes from his potential time, but what do you think about how he's doing anyway?
You know, I like the added drama. It only makes for better viewing, so if he forgot to plug in his laptop, then, you know, we'll see how he comes back from that. Maybe it's not Emmanuel who's the comeback kid, maybe it's actually Sam.
You know, so when I think about it is, you know, the best laid plans fall short on first contact, and first contact here is you get into work, right? You've got your plan out there. You know, the separation's in the preparation, right? And you think about what you're going to do, and then you go execute it. External factors I don't worry about, but the things under my control is what do I do next? Is it intuitive? Does it make sense? Is it go with my logic here? I want to build a process. I want to build the UI first. Then I want to build out my records. Then I want to build out my actions. Jenny, it's what you make of it.
Now, I like our view here because we haven't seen too much in the actual expression editor with the different functions going on. So I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you, Val, what is your favorite function?
Let me ask conjunction junction, but maybe it's today or something like that. Let's go really mundane with things like that. Or logged in user. I actually saw logged in user a lot, right? That gets that back. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think that I'm a big fan of the for each function, and we'll see if each of these contestants can do great things for each of their applications.
Yeah, Jenny,
That's right.
I don't know how you have so many puns ready to go. It's pretty incredible. Now, we have a couple of more exciting things coming up in this last 15 minutes, so I want to make sure we're going to get through all of it. We have 2 more contestants to check in on, though, first. So first, I'd like to start us off going to Emmanuel from last year. He has actually been started on the reporting. He was using that drag and drop to bring those in and configure them, and now it looks like he's doing some last-minute tweaks over in expression mode. How do you think he's faring?
Yeah, I think he's faring very well. I mean, the experience kind of shines through because what that means is you know where to get your points, you know where to go. Like he's starting out here building out some of his reporting and visualizations, but he clearly, you can see the mouse move around, right? It's very fluid. He knows where he's going next. Hey, I got to go here to do this. I got to go here to do that. That's what I want to do as a developer. Isn't that right, Jenny?
Yeah, now I do see a lot of tabs he has open in his browser. What is that, 10? That makes me very anxious because I like to keep it very clean one at a time. How many tabs do you usually have?
Yeah, you know what? Usually I like to keep it under double digits because anything over double digits is a little bit suspicious. Like, hey, this person get focused. But clearly, Emmanuel is focused here and making great progress.
I think he definitely learned a lot from his experience last year, and you know, a little more on that in a bit. But last but certainly not least, let's check in on Novara, who I think she is also. She was working on the reporting, but now it looks like she's going in and setting up some of those custom record fields, which I gotta say, that's been one of my favorite new features in the last few releases. What do you think?
This has gotten so much better, and it's because of everybody here giving the feedback. Like Appian listens to the feedback, what needs to be better. We're not perfect, but we're pretty darn good. So this is where it comes in, right? This is what comes in play. She's here, we saw one screen prompting what to do next. Now she's building it out rapidly. And that's what it's gonna take to win the 10 grand, Jenny.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's give it another round of applause for everyone up here. I mean, look at them. They are focused, they're dialed in. And all of you are here, and they're trying to hide you all with their monitors, because it would be a little bit intimidated for sure. Now, this is so much fun. Really, I love it. But I loved last year's too, Val. It was amazing. And I'd love to show you all a highlight reel of some of the great moments from last year. So let's roll that clip.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the first ever Appian Live Build Challenge. We've assembled 6 of the best Appian developers from around the world to face off for your entertainment today. Enjoy the show.
And now Mike is one of our more experienced competitors and is really off to a great start. We've got Harshit.
He's rocking and rolling, cupping, pasting like a boss here.
It looks like we've jumped over to Megan.
Yeah, she's really building out some of the functions here. Let's see what Dan's up to right now.
Oh, he's hitting some kind of error there. It's fortunately not the dreaded target is missing error. That's always our favorite to discuss with beers after work, right?
Who's next? What about Emmanuel? What I like about it, he's the self-proclaimed young gun. You know, he's loose. He says he's a little nervous. Nah, he's not nervous.
Let's check in with Jason, who's coming all the way from the UK. If I was Jason right now, I'd be feeling the pressure from this. He's representing the entirety of the United Kingdom here. That's a lot of pressure to have on you. They're pretty deep in the challenge now. I think we've got about 27 minutes left.
Looks like Megan, she's already starting to deploy. I mean, did you see this?
Yeah, this is incredible. We've got like 20 minutes left. Is she already almost finished? She's really crushing it on speed here. I'm really excited. Harshit's actually also deployed about the same time as Megan.
Dan's already deployed as well.
This is really blowing away the team that's running this, our judging team. They were not expecting this. The fact that they're crushing it this fast is just absolutely mind-blowing. It looks like we're coming down to the wire here. I haven't been this excited since the season finale of Top Chef, man. I mean, really.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's over, baby. Hands off the keyboard. You're done.
Our winner is Megan!
What an exciting finish. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You know what, Nick? I want to high five people.
Megan, congratulations. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling pretty good.
You just won $10,000. Now what? What are you gonna do?
Definitely gonna go eat some sushi. But after that, definitely planning a vacation of some sort.
Well, you definitely earned it. You deserved it. You absolutely inspired us. The live chat was blowing up for you. Team Megans all over the place. Congratulations again, and thank you so much.
And today, right now, we have a special guest, the reigning Live Build Challenge champion, Megan Merkert. Come on down. Well, Megan, I'd like to start it off. I obviously have very fond memories from the competition last year. You were amazing. Tell me about how being champion of the inaugural Live Build Challenge changed things for you. How did you change your life?
I've been a lot more active on LinkedIn, that's for sure. Just getting a lot more messages, just people reaching out. One thing that happened kind of right after the Live Build Challenge was I had a couple people reach out, friends, acquaintances from college, and women too, saying it was such an inspiration. And that was something that I really loved to see. It was really good to see that I had an impact, just from being in the Live Build Challenge.
You definitely did.
And that's awesome, and it's really great to meet you finally. Great to have you on stage with us. And looking back at last year, at this time, 10 minutes ago, you'd already deployed, you were done, you're done and dusted, you could sit back and relax. What was going through your head at that moment?
Well, so I was feeling pretty confident. I had gone through my whole checklist and, went kind of right like how I practiced it. So I was feeling good, and then I tuned in and was kind of seeing what everybody else was doing. So I was feeling confident by the time I had deployed.
So at what point did you know you had won? Were you like, yeah, I nailed this?
So after, watching a couple minutes, I figured out, okay, I actually deployed first. I looked back a little bit to do a little bit of double checking, I don't see any bugs, so I'm feeling confident I might have won. And then, of course, at the end, April popped into my Zoom channel and was like, oh, that's what that means. It means I won. So then it was like, yes.
Very exciting. Now, looking at this year's competition, you definitely have somebody who you work with in here as well. Again, having that Ignite Mastodon rivalry. But did you give Liam any hints, any tips or tricks? And did you, what would you say, in fact, to the contestants? What advice would you give them?
No special advice for Liam in particular. He ran his ideas by me. I'm like, you know what, man, you're good. Just keep doing what you're doing. And really just my advice for anyone who would have asked, before or anything, was just practice. Lay out how you want to do everything, because it is a battle of speed. So it's getting familiar with all the drag and drop components and all the things that maybe you might not use all that much, or maybe it's newer, so you gotta figure out how it works and get more comfortable with it.
Got it. So the live build challenge, exactly like being at Carnegie Hall. Practice, 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 right?
Exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've got to ask a question. So you into cross stitch, and what you were working on was a full-on work of art. Have you made any progress? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so when I showed it last year, I was maybe 35% done. I'm up to 54% done with it. I think I can share a picture later. I don't know what's up with the whole tech setup here, but I have an Excel sheet and planning to be done with the whole thing in December of 2023. So put a mark on your calendar for that.
Fascinating. You know, I know it's going to look amazing, but there's one other question on my mind. We heard about the sushi, but what did you do with the $10,000?
So I did eat multiple dinners of very expensive sushi. So of course did that, but one of the other really big things we wanted to do was go on a trip to Japan. Probably not happening this year, so we still have it saved for hopefully next year. We're gonna go.
Well, that's so amazing, Megan, and we're so glad that you joined us. You made the event when you did the little head thing. I knew you had it. You're an inspiration, and thank you for joining us on stage today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
Everybody
so much.
give Megan a big round of applause, our reigning Live Build Challenge champion. All right, now we're getting down to the wire here. There's like 6 minutes left. I mean, what is going through people's minds right now, Jenny?
Probably a lot of sweat in their minds somehow. They're probably really focused. I think that I haven't seen any of their expressions change the whole time. So they've got their game face on, and they're probably just trying to get those last pieces of functionality before they send it out into the wild. Now, Val, we talked about what Megan did with her $10,000, but what would you do with $10,000 if you won it?
Yeah, it's not like I don't talk about it or anything, but I'll be honest, I would take everybody here out, the cognac would flow, the champagne would flow, and I'm gonna tell you this, you'd all remember it for the rest of your lives. You can't put a price on that now, can you? How about you, Jenny?
Well, similar to Novara, I'm a very responsible individual, so I'd probably invest it in a specific index fund, a moderate growth rate in a couple years, rather a couple decades, have a nice nest egg that I'm sitting on. But that's a little less exciting than your version. So in our fantasy, I hope you win.
Yeah, that's why I like you. You balance me out a little bit. Speaking of balance, how's it looking over there? Who's tipping the scales?
Well, it's very exciting, and like I was saying before, we're seeing all sorts of different strategies up here. Some people going for all of those UI points. Some people just jumping right into expression mode when there's all these amazing new features to use to help you really speed it up, so that might end up hurting them. And then also, we have some people who are testing all the way through, have those extra incognito windows open, and others who are just pushing through and hoping all those record level security features work at the end. I mean, if they didn't set that up right, they're gonna be docked a lot of points. But an exciting thing is a few of them actually have finished the MVP a couple of minutes ago, so they're working on those stretch goals. We'll see if they can get them done.
Awesome. Now, has anyone deployed to their environments? Kind of do the get it out early and then add on top?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like as of now, everyone is going for as much extra credit as they want. Just like you were talking about, Val, going all the way down to the end, trying to really make the most of it.
You've got 4 minutes to become immortal here, right? So get it all in. I mean, there's a lot of drama in the LBC right now, right? So we're getting down to the wire. I mean, and it's really anybody's game. And remember at the beginning, I told you it's going to take the whole time. Don't leave. I saw one person leave earlier. Shame that person if you like. I'm not judging. But everybody's here. You know you're in it. There's only 4 minutes left, Jenny.
And we're taking a look at Novara's screen. And as far as her build, I think she's gotten her basic pieces. And now she's just starting to debug. Is there anybody else we want to go take a look at?
Well, I don't know if we can jump to Sand. We might not be able to see this now, but I actually saw him creating a CDT from scratch? I mean, records will create all those for you. Why are you configuring that from scratch now?
You know, there's lots of different ways to do it in Appian, as we've been saying. You've got your oldie but a goodie with your CDTs. You've got your new and improved version with the records. So it'll be interesting to see how he has the two interact, but it does look like he's working on those reports. I, from this point, like to grab one of those templates, one of those examples. It's like he can hear me, and I'm starting to give him some hints. But I like to use those to have a starting point for my reports, then plug in my data as I go along.
Yeah, I saw a UI that looks really good, but honestly, you got to roll with the times, and the times are changing quickly. Like if something new comes up, you got to use it, right? The battery's running down. Maybe you need to change the methods. The methods are always changing.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I need to interrupt. Liam is deploying. Look, he's taking a drink of water. But listen, we won't know until tomorrow. You have to come tomorrow because we're going to be checking it, making sure everything works. And again, there's some points for deploying first, but there's a lot of other points to be had in the stretch goals. Let's see if it was enough for him.
All right, I see he's taking his cue from Megan, being that first one out of the gate, getting at least something out there.
There's some continuity there for sure. It's decisive, like I'm done. I'm done here. You 2 minutes, you keep them. But you know what? Everybody else still has 2 minutes. They're getting last second things in. We're going to see how it turns out.
This is so exciting. We have just under 2 minutes left. Hopefully we can start to see everybody else getting their applications out. We definitely don't want to get to a point where they don't deploy and don't get any of those points.
Yeah, no, absolutely, for sure. So it looks like Liam's trying to test. Oh, there's Novara deploying.
There we go. They're rolling in. They're rolling
All right.
in. Keep it coming.
Keep it coming. We got 1 minute, 30 seconds left. I mean, let's just cycle through, see what we think. I mean, cheer it on for your people.
Cheer them on. You see your colors. Let me see those flags. Come on. Yeah, we got less than 2 minutes here. We're rolling through the people here. They're doing their last second checks, making sure everything is tight, and leaving no points on the table. Everything's looking good.
And I have to say, as far as the compare and deploy capabilities are concerned, I love the way I can now take that and connect the environments. I don't have to worry about the export of the take the zip, import it again. It's all kind of that streamlined. It'll tell me what's different in the different environments. So I'm a big fan of the compare and deploy even.
Those DevOps things have improved so much, and we are all so grateful. Again, it's a sign of the times. It's a sign of progress. But here's the progress. We've got only 1 minute left.
All right.
1 minute left. I still see a lot of keyboard action, some mice moving, things like that. I see, people rechecking and double checking. You've got 30 seconds. Come on, come on.
All right, I think at 30 seconds, it's time to stand up.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
time to
I gotta
get
stretch.
excited. We're about to count down to have those hands off of keyboards. We've got just a few moments left, but thank you so much for everyone to come and watch. It's been very exciting. We'll still have to find out who wins at a later point, but we're really getting down to the wire. We might have everyone deployed.
We're getting really close here. I want you to join me when it hits 5. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's over. Hands up, keyboards, finito. The die is cast.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. What a great, great round of applause. I mean, we have a couple more things planned for you, but please, I hope you can understand the pressure being up there ahead of all of you, trying to build live. I mean, when I'm sharing my screen just to try and do one thing in a meeting, I always am forgetting to share the right screen, doing the wrong thing. So this has been really incredible. We have another little special thing for you. If you watched last year, you'll remember this. We'd like to show you a little blooper reel from those interviews we did.
I hit record again.
Me too.
Hopefully my phone doesn't crash again. It's going. I swear that happened last time. The one thing that's a little weird about this is that you have to pretend your camera on your phone is my face. Oh, I had a thought and I just lost it. What's a good segue into that?
But experience can sometimes be a crutch, or...
If you were to win, what would you do with the money?
Invest in Vanguard index funds.
It's really funny how different that was from all the other people's answers to that question.
That is such a great and responsible answer.
Yes, I'm Emmanuel. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You can cut this part out. Just kidding.
Are you going to leave your family members behind in economy while you upgrade yourself? We don't have to use that
Yeah, let's
question.
not do that. I mean, the answer is yes.
It's great to, yeah, I don't know where I was going. See, it's fine. I mess up all the time. Oh, that's so sweet. You guys. You don't want to say you're excited to meet me too?
Oh, is that what we're supposed to do?
You're going to be building against
Oh, quick question. Is it going to be like side-by-side video? So like, do I have to pay attention while you're talking?
Why do you think people should be rooting for you in this competition?
Are you kidding?
Why do you want $10,000?
I don't know how this was a question I wasn't prepared for. Feels like such a softball.
I'm not ready. I'm sorry.
Is that a wrap? Are we good?
Actually, we're going to have to do it all again because I never hit record.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
Wow. Give it up again for all of our contestants. That was amazing. Yeah. I had so much fun working on this year, and there has been an amazing team behind to help put this together and make it a great experience for all of you. Like I said earlier, we're going to be tallying up the points tonight, making sure everything works. And if you want to know who won, well, you'll have to come tomorrow morning and see who gets that very big check. Now, please give it up again for Val Rader and Jenny Dorina. And of course, for our amazing, brave, wonderful Appian developers up here today. All right, that's a wrap. That's it for us.